So good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today afternoon. It is our next session on the personal finance, which was one of the area where I got a lot of requests to be covered upon. And we have an expert with us today. And I think most of you know me, but I can start with a brief introduction about myself. And then subsequently, I will introduce the expert on the panel today. So I am Jatin Tehri. I am a chartered accountant, and it's been 19 years since I qualified. I initially started my career with one of the big four consulting firms, and then subsequently I also worked in industry for 3 years, and now it's been 14 years into my own practice. And in my practice, besides audit, we do a lot of advisory services like due diligence, valuations, fraud investigations, IPO engagements, and that's about myself, a brief background. So now we have a very special guest today with us, Chitra Iyer ji. She is from Mumbai. She is the CEO of MFA Capital, which is one of the leading wealth advisory firm in the country. And our today's objective of having this session is to learn more and more about the wealth advisory practice, and we really want to understand as chartered accountant how we can do our own wealth planning besides doing it for our clients as well, and besides building a advisory practice for us as well. So over to you, Chitra ji. Welcome on board, and we look forward to learning a lot from you today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jatin. Really wonderful to be here as part of the entire series of educational stuff that you've been doing for all of your colleagues and your peers. It's wonderful to be here amongst all the chartered accountants. Thank you so much, all of you, for sparing your time, and hopefully this session may, sometimes sound very basic for you all, because this is what you do, aapka rozi roti hai, and all of you are looking at balance sheets and profit and loss statements as part of your entire work. But I try to keep it as interesting as possible and see if at the end of it, if it helps you in any which ways, I'll be very, very thrilled that at least ek ghanta, sawa ghanta, we could spend some good quality time with each other. Yeah, so shall I start, Jatin?
Yeah, sure. So as we all understand, I mean, Hindi mein bol raha hu, na hi apne baal nahi kaatta. So we may have good understanding about the finances, but still we are a lot ignorant about managing our own finances, to be very honest. And as I understand from you, while we were chatting about it, you have a lot of professionals as your clients, like chartered accountants, lawyers, who are really busy in their own stuff, and including the actors and actresses like Vidya Balan and all. So over to you. I mean, we look forward to learning from you today.
Thank you so much, Jatin. Thank you. And very, very valid statement that you said. So, what are we talking about today? When we're saying managing finances, first thing that comes to mind is, it's very simple, right? Jo mere paas paisa hai, and whatever are my needs, if I'm able to manage and I'm able to do it in an efficient way in terms of applying my existing finances for my specific needs, that is what is the meaning of managing finances. But sadly, our industry is very different. Yahan pe the second thing happens. That is a lot of either product-based investing or tax planning is considered as managing one's finances, rather than the first, what it should be. That is where you sit down with a professional, somebody like us who are certified financial planners, who are the ones who help you understand, how you should think about this whole process and arrive at a proper financial strategy for you, because each one of us is going through different situations in life. Har ek ki needs alag hain, and this has to be customized for a particular family. So following this systematic process of planning basis the needs of the family, and after that deciding where to invest the money, is the actual flow that one should have when you think about managing finances. It is definitely not, as you see the not equal to sign, it is definitely not about just pure investing or doing tax planning. Let's dig deeper. So today, when we, are looking at a session like this, we need to know very clearly as a takeaway that we're looking at helping people, yourself, as well as all the others who you know, whoever you want to impart some knowledge about the entire process of investment planning or financial planning or goal-based planning. All of this means just one thing, that you have to help them identify what are the needs, what are the goals that people are wanting their money to better be there for. It includes a lot of budgeting, it includes savings, it includes investing, it includes debt repayment planning and retirement planning also as part of the whole process. Now, why do we even need to do this? So all of us know that पैसा तो इतना ही है, जितना है उतना है. There's a finite source at any point of time. Just as the way we prepare the balance sheet as on the 31st of March, we know that we have so much of assets, we have so much of liabilities, therefore this is our net worth. That is finite. But at the same time, we know that our needs are many, and this finite source of assets might not be enough for all that is coming up in the future. In India, we don't have any said social security system also. जो भी है हमें ही करना है. We have to set aside. We have to see to it that whether we are doing our PPF or Employee Provident Fund or all of these products which are available, all of that which is there, we have to set aside money to see that there is enough money for our security in the future. We definitely need to have discipline towards finance. What do you mean by discipline? If there are people who would say that हाँ पैसा अगर मेरा end of the month में बचेगा ना तो then I will invest. And then there are people who will say that no, the minute the money comes in my hand, first I will set aside as savings, which will go for investment. The rest I will spend. That is the wiser way of looking at money. And there is a certain sense of discipline that you can set into your own life to do this in a proper fashion. Aligning of investments with financial goals, again, extremely crucial. And I'll talk about this in more detail, but very briefly to touch upon it here is that हम लोग बहुत ad hoc decisions ले लेते हैं. अगर बेटी की शादी करनी है तो जितना पैसा बैंक में है वो निकाल कर हम लोग कर देते हैं. लेकिन अगर बेटी की पढ़ाई के लिए हमको पैसा अगर चाहिए तो फिर हम कहाँ से पैसा निकालते हैं? हम लोग सोचते नहीं हैं. But when you know that education is coming up in the next 18 years, then it makes sense to start setting aside money religiously when children are younger towards this need which is coming up in the future. Similarly, lack of time. Today we don't have time to do our we don't have time to spend with the family also. Forget going and doing other things like going to a bank or getting some documentation ready or all of that. तो फाइनेंस क्या है, ये चीज हमेशा डिले हो ही जाता है, प्रोक्रेस्टिनेट हो ही जाता है. कल करूंगा, बाद में करूंगा, एक दिन छुट्टी लेके करूंगा, ऐसे ही people keep delaying this and procrastinating. Similarly, the myth of no money. So इसमें क्या होता है कि I don't have enough money, I have very less money, so how can I'll do this later. But actually जब कम पैसा है तभी तो प्लानिंग करने की जरूरत रहती है. Actually, right? And when you have too much money, today the largest guys, whether it's the Warren Buffett or any big man you take of the world, all of them have a plan for their money. सबके पास basically plan रहता है. तो सबको ये करना बहुत जरूरी है that you have to do this entire planning. I think my screen went off, right?
It's perfectly work.
Yeah, your screen is not visible. Yeah.
Somebody, yeah. Vyanshu, can this screen be made into a spotlight? Is this visible for everybody?
Yeah, you're visible. Your presentation is also there.
The presentation only should be big. Others can be small.
Okay.
No, someone else is presenting. That's why your screen is not visible. Jatin, can you please ask that other person to stop presenting? Kamal Jain.
Divyanshu, yeah,
Sure,
can you please stop? Then I can present.
No, I think Mr. Kamal Jain is presenting. He will have to stop presenting.
Mr. Jain, can you please stop presenting or make the screen the spotlight? I was presenting the screen and somebody. Yeah, thank you. Is it visible now? It's clear, no?
Yes.
Not as yet.
But is the screen on spotlight? Can you all see only the presentation?
We're seeing all the speakers.
Yeah, the presentation is not visible.
Yeah.
Now it
Better.
is.
Okay, great.
Perfect.
So I'm moving on. Thank you.
No, but the
Um,
participants should
so-
not be visible, no?
We
Your
can't see the
presentation is only
presentation.
one corner. Your presentation is only in one small corner.
It needs to be pinned.
I think it's perfect now.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Now
fine.
it's fine.
Thank you, Divyanshu. Yeah. So, moving on, what are the classic 7 mistakes that all of us make? Okay. It's not that, it's specific to only one person, it's to all of us. As we are in the process, in the whole journey of learning about money, we make these mistakes. One is too many expenses or, too many loans. We carry the whole burden of paying EMIs. Second is over concentration in real estate. A lot of people, especially Indians, believe in buying property and they believe that this is one asset which takes care of everything. And मेरे सामने तो खड़ा है तो फिर then इसका कुछ हो नहीं सकता. And they feel very safe and secure about it. Next is inadequate insurance against risks. Mediclaim लेना, life insurance लेना, हम अपने खुद को और अपने family को protect करना. This is not done in the right systematic way. How much of insurance should you take? People become stingy for some reason here. But we always say that at least a 20 lakh Mediclaim cover is required for any kind of emergency that can happen as a floater policy across all the family members. Whereas for life insurance, a very good, clear term plan, which is not investment oriented, these kind of policies need to be taken by every single income earning person. Policy should not be taken in a child's name. It should be taken in the name of the earning member. If the husband is earning, उनके नाम से policy लेना है. अगर wife is earning, तो उनके नाम से. अगर wife is not earning, तो उनके नाम से नहीं लेना है. Only on the husband's name, purely because if something happens to him tomorrow, this entire cover will be available to the spouse to take care of herself and the children. But a proper, decent, big cover in terms of a term plan where the insurance premium is very less is required to be taken earlier on in life because the premium becomes static. It doesn't increase, right? As all of us know. And stay clear of investment oriented insurances. Next is investments done in an ad hoc fashion. तो यहाँ पे क्या होता है कि we get a lot of people saying I have picked up some particular shares, I've invested in some insurances, I've invested in some other kind of these chit funds that come, etc. And these keep accumulating over a period of time. Anyone and everyone who comes into your life and says that पता है मैंने पैसा बनाया है तू भी ले ले, and then you land up taking that. After a while you realize I never signed up for this, I didn't want to do this at all, पता नहीं मैंने ये क्यों की, why did I land up doing this at all? Similarly, the number of people also who come into your life, there are different people who come. It could be bankers, it could be insurance agents, it could be even people in the family or relatives or friends who land up coming. So because of two, one is ad hoc fashion from people and ad hoc of all products. All of this comes and accumulates in your life when you never even knew or never even wanted these, but over a period of time ये add होते चला जाता है. Next is why is all of this happening is purely because of sitting down and doing a pure goal setting and doing the planning process. I will explain in detail about how to go about this, but this is one of the main reasons why all of these mistakes also occur. there is no proper written strategy in place. See, when you go to buy your shirt, it has to fit you, right? You love a particular fit. It has to be customized to you. If you are buying shirts of a different size across, you will not go and wear something which is of another size, right? Similarly, a financial plan, when you make a plan, it has to be customized to the needs of your family. Finally, myopic view of tax planning in India has been on for years. That means tax bachane ke liye. I know that a lot of chartered accountants are always hounded by their clients saying that tax bacha de, tax mujhe nahi bharna hai. Or sometimes even CAs land up doing this, and it is not necessary, right? The purpose of tax planning should be to ensure the best post-tax return on investments, but not to evade tax, obviously. And similarly, all of these mistakes that are being done, there is a very good way of ensuring that you don't land up spending beyond your means, that you don't land up taking only loans. There are people who live from loan to loan. They'll end up taking personal loans to, you know, take care of some loans that they have borrowed from their friends that they, know, and then they develop a lot of serious issues with even friendships. There are no people to rely on. And this becomes like an addiction where we know that it can become very difficult for people to live in society properly. Managing credit cards, living from credit card to credit card is also an addiction. Before the salary hits the bank account, going and doing the spending online, having huge credit card bills always running, and paying for one credit card by from another, all of that results in a lot of messy affairs in terms of cash flows for most people. Doing over concentration in real estate, about 70 to 80% of assets being only in one asset class. We have seen this in people, where they feel that I don't know anything else. I only know this, so I will continue doing this. There is where the need of planner like us, a financial coach like us, is essential, who sits down and explains to you that you cannot have a major portion of your money riding on one asset simply because you run a huge risk of something happening to that asset class. Now people will say real estate ko to kuch bhi nahi hua hai, but we have seen a huge crash that people forget in 1995 that lasted till about 2004-5, where real estate slump had actually happened and people could not do anything about it. So always, diversifying and keeping eggs in multiple baskets is extremely advisable. Let's move on. Now I'm moving to a simple case study just to make it a little more interesting for all of you. So there is this gentleman who came to us at his age of 60, said that he would like to retire at 65. His life expectancy, we, kind of said that he will obviously live till at least 90. The retirement income need, he said, is I need 5 lakhs per month. The corpus that he had accumulated after a very good 40 years of, about 35 to 40 years of service was 7 crores 50 lakhs. He had kept all of this money in his FDs and it was earning him 8%. Ask FD in some banks only give these kind of returns, but otherwise he was managing an 8% kind of return and he was getting 60 lakhs per year. He said, I'm sorted. Ho gaya mera kaam. 5 lakh mahine ka hai. Why do I need to do anything? Why do I need to even come to somebody like you to even talk about doing my entire process of financial planning or goal-based planning, all of this that you talk, it's absolutely unnecessary. We then opened his eyes this way. We showed him the reality, that is inflation. The big, dirty animal in our lives is inflation. Although he expected that, he will get 5 lakhs every year, every month to take care of his expenses, we showed him that inflation is something that will impact his cash flow needs at the rate of 6% year on year. So his need actually shoots up from 5 lakhs to 6.7 lakhs when he's going to retire at the age of 65. Also, the retirement corpus that he will need will be 16.74 crores and not the 7.5 crores. Why? Because it's not that it's going to, the money need is going to be static at 6.7 lakhs per month going ahead. Every year, inflation will hit him at the rate of 6%. Correct? So the 6.7 multiplied by 6% multiplied by 6% is going to keep occurring up to the age of 90. And therefore, his need is not at all 7.5, but 16.74. If he has just 7.5 his money, he will run out of his money in the next 11 years itself. Right? Now, what is it that people need to do to hit this kind of a corpus is exactly what we do. Let's move on. Who are managing finances today? I gave you a glimpse of that earlier. But all of these people, there are chartered accountants who people rely on, and they say that हाँ तू तो मेरा tax file कर रहा है, अभी मुझे ये भी बता दे कि पैसा कहाँ लगाऊं, right? It is like as if the CA is not supposed to, you know, he's supposed to give this advice free of charge. And there are enough bankers, you have people calling you and speaking to you, right? There are people who actually, anybody today keeps getting calls at you would say at the speed of at least minimum one, right, a day. And it's absolutely really very terrible when you know that you have to bang the call on someone, that it is not right at all and it is an infringement of privacy. But today people have your mobile numbers and they call you and they keep reaching out to you. There are PMS services where people come and pitch their products. There are online portals available. Social media has become a very big space where you have influencers. There are people who are making reels over reels. There are 20-year-olds, there are 30-year-olds who are talking and guiding about money and saying that, we know about money. It's not that, we know better about money. They just show you like if you had invested in this stock 20 years ago, आज उसका value इतना होता था, आपने ये नहीं किया, आपने ये गलती की. या फिर आज के जो media related इतना news आ जाता है that people get really rattled and scared that वो लोग FOMO हो जाते हैं कि मैं ये कर नहीं रहा हूँ, ये कर नहीं रही हूँ. So one is all of this in social media. Then there are boutique financial planning firms like ours. We are the ones who are there, existing with an entire team to look after the finances of an entire family. There are independent financial planners. These are single people who have also certified and sit in front of the clients to help them. And there are insurance agents. Now, main thing what I wanted to share with all of you is, how are you supposed to go about to choose who should be my financial planner, right? A lot of people, like you said, all of these people, all of them would say that I'm a financial advisor. I will come and do this for you. I have been doing this for years. There are people who will come and tell you, 25 साल से यही कर रहा हूँ. I have done this, I've sorted this for so many people. Now, the first thing that you have to see is that the biggest clue that I think you will need to understand is how much, all of the decisions that you are taking in your life about money, how much is it going to affect you in your entire life? ये पहला कोई समझ के ले रहा है क्या? This is the single biggest clue. If someone is asking you and doing a proper detailed data gathering process and understanding that how have you taken decisions about money? There have been people have lost money. People have done mistakes in terms of money. They have had events in life where they have lost their loved ones, or they have had a huge windfall also, which has come into life. And it's a lot of emotional issues that have happened because of which, people end up taking decisions. Now, a good financial coach will ask you all of these questions. Versus that, the salesperson will only come and tell you कितना पैसा है आपके पास. He will ignore कि आपने estate planning किया है क्या, cash flow management के बारे में समझना भी, उसको he will not even bother. not be interested in how much money do you, he'll only be interested to see that कितना invest करने के लिए है और कितना insurance में आपको बेच सकता हूँ, ये surely वो देख लेगा, and then he'll say that I can make you rich, this scheme can make you rich, and this is what you need to do, right? And this is the most dangerous category that should be avoided by you completely. Second is that one has to look at how much of risk you are taking. It is not just about return. क्योंकि आप ये पूछ लोगे कि आप मेरे को कितना रिटर्न दोगे, the first thing that comes in anybody's mind is कितना देगी. It's not about कि मैं risk कितना ले रहा हूँ या कितना ले रही हूँ. So if someone is promising you the entire moon and saying how good they are and how they have provided the highest returns, आपको डर लगना चाहिए, क्योंकि कोई भी अच्छा जो फाइनेंशियल प्लानर है वो ये कभी नहीं करेगा. They will look at you, they will take you through a proper risk profiling exercise, and they'll tell you that in the long term, stock markets will give 12 to 15%, and therefore you should not look at a 24 and 30% kind of return, right? So this should also, set your alarm bells ringing. Second, third is don't just go by brands. There are people who go by bank का brand है या फिर कोई wealth management का बहुत बड़ा brand है, ये लोग बहुत अच्छे से काम करते हैं, कितने लोगों को ये लोग कर रहे हैं, आपको पता नहीं कि कितने लोग उल्लू भी बन रहे हैं. So most relationship managers in bank, याद रखो कि primarily sales people हैं. उनको बैंक ने बोला है कि भले वो 10,000 जिसके क्लाइंट के पास है कि 1 करोड़ है, उसको वही एक प्रोडक्ट बेच के आओ. Okay, you have to be very careful that you stay away from these kind of pure advice that is being met to you very freely, right? Fourth is, does the planner sit down with you and take you through this entire retirement planning goal exercise? Does he explain to you that there are enough categories in terms of debt, in terms of equity? ये सब क्या है? क्या वो estate planning के बारे में आपके साथ बात करता है? This is important. Finally, the composition and the presentation of the financial plan can vary differently. There are a lot of people who are most notorious कि इनफैक्ट हम तो बोलते हैं कि अगर आपको किसी बैंक ने बोल दिया कि आपको एक प्लान दे दिया है and you are very happy with it, then it is really sad because you have just been given a printed document which has been populated by their software. Okay, so please be careful. I'm sorry I took a lot of time on this particular slide, but I thought it's very necessary that you need to know कि इस तरह के चीज होते हैं. Right now, moving on. Now, how therefore should I think about my planning? So this should be a pure life-centered planning exercise. It should start with contingency planning, that is for emergencies के लिए मेरे पास हमेशा पैसा रहना चाहिए. I need to have at least 6 months expenses sitting in my either in my bank, or it should be sitting in my FD, or it should be in my liquid funds, or it should be at least मेरे पास एक decent credit card with limit रहना चाहिए. Correct? Next is I should cover all my risks. Enough insurance in terms of mediclaim, life, accident, property insurance, all of this needs to be done. Next, goal-based planning. How do I go about doing this entire process of goal-based planning, which I'll cover a little more in detail. Financial freedom is what I need to plan for, which is inevitable. All of us are going to grow old at some point. At some point in time, we will stop earning active income, and that time our wealth should be more than enough to look after us for the entire future for as long as we are alive. Asset allocation and investment strategy, which is getting a balanced diet in place. Succession planning, getting wills done, and preservation of our money, जो hard earned money हमने कमाया है हमारे बच्चों के लिए, that needs to go to the next generation, right? How do we secure that? And doing annual reviews, yearly checkups. Yearly checkup with your financial coach is absolutely mandatory. कि आपको ये बैठ के देखना है कि मैंने जो goals बनाए थे वो same है क्या, कि change हो गए हैं, क्या उसका value change हुआ है, कि मेरे goal ही बदल गए हैं, क्या हुआ है. All of this needs to be done. And then, of course, for all of you, the minimization of taxation, right? So how do we go about investing in such a way that our post-tax returns are really efficient and make sense in this overall process of planning? So what are the financial goals in life that you truly need money for? We've met approx 5,000 plus families just in MFA, and as part of our digital company, Factory, we've met more than 20,000 families, right? And this is what families usually come up with, that I want to plan for my retirement. I want to plan for the education of my children, my grandchildren, the marriage of my children. I would like to, yeah, I want to plan for my own annual vacations. I would like to keep aside an emergency corpus. I would like to plan for the health corpus of my family. What is the meaning of health corpus? Over and above medical insurance, you need to have some money set aside for yourself, just for health. Then I want to build a bigger house. I want to buy a house. I want to buy a vacation home, or I want to set aside money for charity. There are a lot of our HNI families who say that this money is not required for I have more than enough for myself, and my children don't need the money. Please guide me on how I should set up the corpus for charity, so that even after I am gone, the money is there for whichever causes that I wish to support. So if all of these goals are set down in paper by you with a proper figure, with a proper year, that is the process where you have started with your first step of writing down goals for yourself. So what is the right approach? First is understanding the why, right? Why do I need to do this? Is that because I know that, I want to hit a particular kind of need for my family. I want to see that my family is always happy. If people always have come back to us with answers like, I want to be able to do what I'm doing for the rest of my life because this is my passion. If it's a chef, he says that, yes, I want to do the best in terms of seeing that my company and my restaurants provide the best dishes to people who are coming to my restaurant. There are people who have said that, if I'm building cars, then it should be the best quality for my clients. There are people who have said that if I am into logistics, whatever I want to see that is delivered to all of my clients gets delivered on time without any breakage. And then there are people who say that I just want my family to be happy. ये सिर्फ है purpose of life. So then उसके लिए shouldn't the money be available in such a way that it is there to ensure all of these things happen? How do you do that? First, you make a plan. You sit down and write down that these are my financial goals. Somebody asked in the chat box, how do I go about goal-based planning? There are fabulous books that we can share with you later about how to buy these books and go through these books also. So there are books, there are articles, there is a continuous stream of articles that we have been writing. Our founder Amar Pandit has been writing just to get educated about how go about the whole process of goals. How you need to sit down with your spouse and understand that हम life में ये करेंगे, हमको एक वर्ल्ड ट्रिप करना है, कब करना है, 50वें साल में हमको क्या करना है, 60th बर्थडे पे क्या करना है, हमारा अगर ग्रैंड चाइल्ड है तो उसके लिए क्या करना है, हमको अगर नया घर लेना है तो कौन से साल में लेना है, कितने करोड़ों का घर होगा. All of these are goals. Next comes setting the process in place, helping you reach a purposeful financial coach, a person who will bring purpose into your life and who will handhold you and help you in terms of the cash flow, budgeting, etc. All of which I showed you that forms as part of the process. Getting your data gathering done, getting your risk analysis done, understanding how much I will save, how much you will invest. All of this comes as part of this process. Finally comes the product. कि प्लान तो बन गया है, प्लान बता रहा है कि आपको इतना पैसा इस नीड के लिए लगेगा, उसके लिए आपको यहाँ इन्वेस्ट करना है. तभी आता है product. Product कुछ भी हो सकता है. It can be from gold, it can be real estate, it can be international equity, it can be equity in India, it can be debt, it can be PPF, it can be EPF, NPS, it can be anything. कुछ भी हो सकता है. FD भी हो सकता है. कई लोग डर जाते हैं. They prefer that their money stays in FD. That comes as a product and not the other way around, which is usually inverted in case of our industry, the whole industry of planning. Now, along with this also comes asset allocation, time horizon, and risk appetite. This is completely based on the age of the client and based on your financial situation. If you have a lot, so I explain about risk appetite and asset allocation more, but here I would like to say that time horizon, when your time horizon is short, other period for requisition, requirement of money is short, then the money needs to go into safer products, into a safer asset class. If the time required for the money is very long and distant into the future, that is when you can take risk for higher reward, which means equity. That is the way you should think in terms of time and risk. The more the time, the more the risk you can take. The less the time for the goal, you cannot afford to take that risk. You will have to keep your money safe. So how do you maintain a balanced diet, or what is this asset allocation about? All of us know about how we eat. We are supposed to eat fruits and vegetables. We are supposed to have protein. We are supposed to have fiber-rich carbohydrates. And we are supposed to have fats. ये परसेंटेज भी हमको पता है कि कितना खाना है और क्या नहीं खाना है, और इसमें कुछ भी हमने गलत किया तो it affects our body, right? It affects our system. This is the same logic that applies to money. When you see the mix of what is in asset allocation, you will realize that you have bonds, you have stocks, you have cash, you have gold, you have all of these things, right? Now, studies show that this mix of real estate, cash, bonds, stock, gold, and etc., other things, all of that, if you have this mix right, 90% of your portfolio's returns depends on this mix. Okay. And the choice of funds or market timing doesn't have any impact. People feel that मैंने time कर लिया या फिर मैंने सही चीज को उठा ली तो मेरा पैसा बन जाएगा. वैसा नहीं है. It is actually purely about a good healthy mix based on your goals, based on your timelines, that it works for you. Okay. Now, let's move on to what is the importance of a diversified portfolio with the help of some simple things like these illustrations here. You have a mix. Obviously, all of us have one real estate. We live. Other than that, people may have much more of real estate, right? And along with this, you may have liquid assets, which are all of the others, which you can see: money in the bank, all the mutual funds, stocks, bonds, etc. And this mix will help in keeping your money growing, right? Where one of this, if it becomes very big and the other becomes very small, it will impact how this money tree grows for you, right? Any one of this, if it impacts, it is large, then it really will trouble you. Now, how does it trouble? I will also share with you with a case study. And just wanted to make one note here that there are people who have started consolidating. All of our clients have started consolidating the real estate. They realize that over a period of time, real estate gives you 6% year on year in terms of CAGR. This is again proven. Over a decade, you would see that the growth is 6% year on year. Why would you do that in terms of an illiquid asset instead of keeping it in liquid assets where you can definitely, earn much more? And it delivers you better post-tax returns. How that combination should be is what you have to sit down and plan for yourself. Now, as a financial coach, what all do we do in the client's life? We project manage. We ensure that all the paperwork is done. We actually have a documentation service called My Life Happily Documented. We've seen that people run from pillar to post when they need documents. जब वीजा बनाना है, यूरोपियन वीजा बनाना है, तभी हमको सब डॉक्यूमेंट्स हाथ में चाहिए रहती है. लेकिन अगर आपको विल बनाना है और आपको you have to write down that exactly where is that plot of land that you own, उसका नंबर क्या है, उसका खाता क्या है, all of that. For that you need to get that document properly in place, right? We've seen that people who have gone to do property deals, in the whole document नाम है, लेकिन जो सोसाइटी का पेपर है उसमें उनका खुद का नाम नहीं है, प्रीवियस ओनर का नाम रहेगा. Documents affect our lives in various ways. We still, although we are in a digital era, we still need the physical document which gets digitized, right? So please spend time on getting your personal documents across all the family members in place and show it to your spouse and to the other children in the family also कि देखो बेटा मैंने सब यहाँ रखा है, right? You need to do that for the security of your own family. Next is risk. Understanding what is the kind of risk that is there in every asset class that you have taken in a product. When we've met clients, we've understood, they said that I am not willing to take the risk of principal at all. I don't know why I invested in this. Risk of principal समझाया नहीं जाता, and people have put money in a particular product. It's so important to know and understand that एक किसी चीज में अगर आप रिस्की हाई रिस्क कोई भी प्रोडक्ट में पैसा डाल रहे हो तो ये पॉसिबल है कि आपका 100 रुपया 99 क्या वो 50 भी हो सकता है. Will you sleep at night then? That you have to understand. Next is a real estate facilitator. When you are going to buy property, when you are going to rent a property, or when you're going to sell, all of these decisions, we sit down with our clients to help them understand क्या ये करना है, ये करने से क्या होगा, इससे आप इसके सामने का जो टैक्सेशन है उसको आप कहाँ ऑफसेट कर सकते हो. Of course, for this we work with our chartered accountants, with the client's chartered accountant, with their accountants, and we help the client understand better. A financial coach will help you in avoiding mistakes that keep happening randomly also. I can give a lot of examples, but I'll keep this for our Q&A session. Personal CFO, with helping you in terms of strategy. Now, during 2020 COVID, all of you know, markets cracked like crazy. A lot of our clients who had a good diversification in their portfolio towards debt, we removed money from debt and put it in equity. Because of which, the windfall gains that they saw in just 1 year when markets came back was phenomenal. These kind of tactical calls can be taken when things happen in the markets for various kind of products also. So this kind of decisions can be taken once you engage with a proper financial coach. Coordinating with the chartered accountant, coordinating with the lawyers and other advisors is the role of this person. See, if you have more than 4 or 5 people in your life, one person does not know anything. Today, we know that the chartered accountant is like a family member to every client. उनको सब पता रहता है, लेकिन क्या वो सच में उनको सब बता रहे हैं? We always, for larger money decisions, we tell the client family that आपको chartered accountant को पहले बताना है, क्योंकि वो आपके लिए सब कुछ कर रहे हैं. They are planning how to go about and helping you with your taxation, the filing of the returns, etc. There is one very stupid case I'll tell you. This gentleman who wanted to gift a property to his wife went and did the booking in his wife's name and came. The wife's family, whose finance were managed separately, they said we will never take a loan on property because that is not a हमारे खानदान का वो ये नहीं है, रिवाज नहीं है. And this man didn't have money. And I'm like telling, why didn't you talk to the chartered accountant? Because chartered accountant knows exactly how the wife's accounts are maintained. So going forward, crafting policies, creating portfolios, figuring out, what is the best mix of assets is the job of a financial coach. And facilitating in terms of estate planning, getting all of the nominations bills, seeing to it that always all assets are jointly held, how quickly liabilities are to be repaid, all of that is taken care. So I just very quickly take you all through this. We have been in existence, MFA, Happers Factory and Happers Capital. We are also present in the US, and we've been in existence for the last 19 years, going to be 20 next year. We manage 6,000 crores of assets. We cater to over 8,500 families in 17 different countries. And we have an absolutely fabulous team of professionals in Mumbai and New Jersey. And we're also based in some cities in India. We've been doing a lot in terms of financial literacy to just educate people about how to think about money. We also have 2 podcasts of our own. Yeah. We cater to doctors, corporate executives, business owners, celebrities, retirees, NRIs, independent women, and another pet, vertical of mine is families of children with disabilities. उनके लिए करता है. The role that we play in our client's life is that of a Sherpa. Sherpa को पता रहता है कि mountain में कहाँ पर you can go fast, कहाँ पर आप slip हो सकते हो, right? And there's a Sherpa who takes you up and down and gets you down the mountain safely also. This is the role that we play for our clients, and we don't let anything come in between them and their goals. We would love to do it for all of your chartered accountants. I am going to quickly show a proper case study to all of you. So I would like to share with you, and of course, yes, we would love to work with chartered accountants to help do this for themselves. We feel this is a need of the hour for chartered accountants themselves because उनको खुद को नहीं पता रहता है, and we have many CAs as our clients who not only come to us for their own personal money and their partners, they also invest their own firm's money through us. We have seen in our survey with chartered accountants that almost 73% of their clients are missold. A lot of products. 75% agree that with the growing global integration, financial industry is becoming even more complex and difficult. 90% agreed that investment management is absolutely the need of the hour. And 30% agree that they're proactively helping clients to demystify this complex financial world. It is not easy for a chartered accountant. You have so many clients, there is limited time. How much can you do, right? So we would love to, go ahead and see that it works in the best interest for clients. It works in your own personal best interest. It, elevates financial care through a value-added service that you are offering them. It also takes care, you are boosting the client's trust through value-added services. You are creating a niche in your practice. You're co-creating and value-adding for your client. And there is enhanced trust levels. You're building great brand ambassadors through your clients, and this becomes a much stronger firm. Now, a chartered accountant firm is very clear that we do our accounting practice, take care of audits, tax advisories, structuring, valuations. Similarly, as a financial coach, we are working on the goal-based investing practice, studying of risk management and insurances, and advising on all the products that are there for the family. So this is how we believe that every single family needs a 3-member team that is of a financial coach, a chartered accountant, and a lawyer, and this can be delivered very seamlessly. This is a practice that has been existing across countries, and we have been working at this practice for the last 15 plus years. So when it comes to doctors, the most important thing that we see is that doctors also help me with, just doing their planning in terms of, they don't understand that their practice can suddenly shut down when they age. They don't have this understanding कि मैं किस तरह से मेरा goodwill जो है उसका valuation करूँ. And today we are seeing a lot of doctors, medical practice, we are seeing this happening where valuation of a practice in a hospital is happening, expansion or selling of a practice is happening, and we also see that cash flow management is of a dire need for doctors because उनको नहीं पता रहता है कि मैं इतना पैसा तो बना रहा हूँ लेकिन जा कहाँ रहा है. So we sit down with them and we've seen that along with their chart accountants we can do a real fabulous job for doctors as a fraternity. Similarly, CXOs, people who are in the space of the CXO level where they are the top-notch leaders in their company, right? Whether it is IT or pharma or auto or whichever sector you say, today CXOs are given ESOPs. So ESOP management becomes a very big problem area and challenge for a CXO because he believes ये मेरा company है, so I should stick on to my shares. Typically, we have seen that almost 80%, 70 to 80% of assets ride on one single stock. And we have helped families understand the risk that they take on such single stock, and we've helped them in the retirement planning exercise. Also, there are a lot of CXOs who wish to change gears and move into becoming entrepreneurs. We help them in doing this too, and we can jointly do this. For business owners, building assets in a personal name, because most business owners keep the money only in the business. They don't understand why they need to even remove money and park it in their own personal names. During COVID, we helped people realize that how this is crucial and what they need to do in terms of ring fencing of assets and cash flow management. Similarly, for NRIs, global taxation and compliances is a huge serious issue. We've been helping them for the same. Tax planning for all of these practices are extremely important, and we do this jointly along with the chart accountant. I'll just quickly take you through a case study. Jatin, we are out of time. Should I take it?
Yeah, sure. We can take a case study.
Okay. So, Mr. and Mrs. Gupta came to us. They were, in the textiles business for the last 25 years, and they had two sons who had recently joined them. Like all the other business owners, as I shared with you, they've been investing the profits only into the businesses and not, their own business and not in any personal investment. At age 55, Mr. Gupta said that, I want to become financially independent. I don't want to rely on my business at all or even on my children in terms of my retirement. I want to see that there is enough money to, see to it that it takes care of my needs after I decide to get out of the business at 55. So he plans to work for just hardly another 10 to 15 years to achieve this goal. He promptly contacted his chartered accountant, who then, referred them to us, and we started working with the client. So what we figured is that they wanted to retire, and although they were saying that, he was talking about 55 here, right? He said at 55, and then he said that by 68 I would like to retire, and my monthly expenses that I would need would be 5 lakhs per month, plus 10 lakhs per year is my vacation need. Annual expenses, he said that this was in 2012, as you can see. Annual expenses are 70 lakhs, obviously, and then considering inflation, this amount came to 1.5 crore by 2025 because of just inflation. So it doubles, more than doubles in just a matter of 13 years. And the retirement corpus that was needed by this family came up to 30 crores. And what we had was the savings that he could do over the period of 13 years, right? Now, all that Mr. Gupta needed to do to achieve this figure of 30 crores was to set aside 1 crore per year for the next 13 years, or a monthly investment of about 8 to 8.5 lakhs. So, along with the chartered accountant, we further assisted Mr. Gupta, to also, determine annual withdrawal from the business for doing this investment. Because along with the chartered accountant only, he could plan how much should he pay himself as a salary from his business. Ring fencing of his assets between personal and business finance is what we also shared with him. and addressing concerns about tax impact, but still considering paying himself a salary is what we tried to explain to him. So the result was that today Mr. Gupta is 67 years old and he's going to retire next year by 2025, and his corpus is already at 28 crores. He's well placed to retire comfortably and has secured his lifestyle for him and his wife till their age of 100. So the advantage of an early start is as simple as this. You start at 55 with an annual investment of 1 crore, over a period of 30 years to hit 30 crores. If he had started at age of 50, he would have had to set aside only 51 lakhs over 18 years. And if he had started at the age of 45, he would have had to do an annual investment of only 27 lakhs. Okay. And he would have hit this figure of 30 crores. So the magic of compounding with disciplined investments is really fabulous. It's never too late. We always insist and we always share with people that it's never too late. But it's always good to start early, to start saving towards your personal goals. A SIP of 10 lakhs over 5 years would result in 8.717 crores. Over 10 years, 23 crores, and over 20 years, 98.93 crores. A simple SIP can do this. Similarly, an annual lump sum of 2 crores per year lands up in 13 crores over 5 years, 35 crores over 10 years, and 144 crores over 20 years. This is the seventh wonder of the world, compounding in action. Yes, the assumption for all of you to know is just 12% year on year. Yeah. Another case study, a chartered accountant, Mr. Raj, at age 45 approached us. He has his own firm, Mr. RJ Associate, the last 30 years, practicing out of Delhi. Total work experience of 18 years with his wife, parents, and kids. Very proficient in finance and tax planning and investments. His net worth is about 12.5 crores. Before 2018, Mr. Raj felt secure financially. Despite his entire expertise, he lacked comprehensive financial planning skills, and with a very busy schedule, he had a lot of biases also that came in the way because he was constantly in finance. He wanted to do things, but he couldn't do it because he was getting scared of doing particular things, and he was getting influenced by a lot of these professional biases. So the above conversations, gave him enough to a lot of thoughts to think, and then we made him helped him with a beautiful customized plan for his financial goals. So what he stated was his goals. He said that he's very clear that in terms of goal setting, what I want to do for my spouse, my children, my parents, and for my siblings also. We managed to get his investment management planning done completely in terms of getting his actual portfolio analyzed. We went through his existing investments of 12.5 crores. We came back to him with where all we found gaps, and we found that something was high risk with a high reward expectation, but actually did not give him enough returns. We helped build a proper portfolio for him with a good mix of risk of various levels so that he could meet all his goals comfortably. We built and worked on tax efficient investment strategies. We covered all his risks. We took care. We saw that there was a lot of area left to cover in terms of life insurance. We got that sorted for him, and we helped him with behavior coaching also. He asked a lot of questions, and we could guide him on the same. This is what he had stated as his goals. He stated that for his daughter and for his son, for graduation, he would require 1 crore, which is coming up immediately because the children were much older, 2024 and 2026, for which the corpus that he required to set aside today was 1 crore for Sarah and 93 lakhs for Sahil. In terms of debt repayment, he had 2 crores that he had as a outstanding liability. And this was going to get over, for which he needed to set aside 1 crore 43 lakh 75,000. For Sarah's marriage and Sahil's marriage, he wanted 1 crore each. And this was coming up in 2029 and 31 in 5 and 7 years time, for which he needed to set aside 75 lakhs for Sarah and 68 lakhs for Sahil, because it was coming after 2 years after Sarah. He wanted to buy a vacation home worth 3 crores, for which we said that it would make sense to park 1 crore 63 lakhs in equity today, so that it would be ready. The amount would be ready over a period of time. His retirement age, he chose as 55, and he said he wants 3 lakhs per month till the age of 90. And he also stated that he would love to travel the world and would want 15 lakhs per year till his age of 75. So it's 6 years to his goals. So the corpus need came up to 8 crores 68 lakhs. And the entire corpus required by him today was coming to 15 crores 10 lakhs. And therefore, we figured that he would need some more funds to meet his goals. And we advised and shared with him that if he would, consolidate around 50 policies that he had and the 4 properties, and he invested in higher yielding assets, he would be able to comfortably meet his goal. So this is how we went about doing it, and I hope it makes sense to all of you. Yeah, I have reached the end of my presentation, and I'm open for all the questions that you may have.
Thank you so much, Chitra ji. It was really wonderful presentation, and specifically, I would say I really like those slides on the balanced diet and the feedback of the chartered accountants. That's absolutely right. I mean, we face a lot of, and it's really painful in a lot of cases where client is not getting the right advice, and when as chartered accountant we see their financial statements or balance sheets or the personal wealth statements, it's really painful for us that they're not getting the right advice. And now we can jump onto the question and answers. So Nishant, I think you raised hand. You wanted to ask things.
No, Jatin sir, I think it was clicked by mistake, but I do have a question.
Sure.
First of all, I would like to thank. I mean, it was a wonderful session. Thanks a lot, Chitra ma'am, for sharing these details. My question is actually related to the term plan.
Okay.
So most of the times we get confused. I mean, for how long do we need to purchase the term plan? A lot of people consider term plan as an investment tool and take it for, say, the age of 90 years or somehow. So what are your guidance with regards to that?
I think it is very personal, as you rightly said, Nishant. So ideally, we always say that life insurance should be taken till you have enough money to take care of all of your goals. Correct? So जब पैसा है तो फिर insurance का जरूरत नहीं रहता. But as you rightly said, there are people who feel that but मेरे गुजरने के बाद अगर मेरे family को पैसा मिला तो क्यों नहीं? I will continue. I will take it for a longer period of time. But yeah, we as
and I
plan.
think it increases the premium as well.
नहीं प्रीमियम फिक्स्ड हो जाता है. When you buy a term life plan, premium is fixed. It doesn't escalate.
No, I mean, if you take, say, life cover till 90 as against 60, then your premium tends to increase, right?
Correct. Yeah. That is correct. That is absolutely right. Yeah. But yeah, there are people who think that is a strategy to leave more money for my family members. So they do try that also. But it's not necessary. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, ma'am.
Very personal. Thank you. Most welcome.
Thanks, Nishant. Naman, you also raised some question in the chat box. Naman, are you there?
नहीं, शायद नहीं है. So yeah, that was about how to. So there are certain books available, and there is a very good blog that I will share with you, Jatin ji, for knowing more about personal finance that I'll share with you, which you can please share with all of your all the attendees.
Thank you so much. I think that will be really helpful because self-learning is also very important.
Yes.
And
yes.
I will also taking your team's contact numbers and all, which I would like to share with all the attendees once this session ends. so that if anyone has any sort of concern, they can reach out to you directly. And I would also like to thank Rishu from your team, who really worked day and night to organize and fine-tune the presentation and everything from your side.
Totally. It was only because of Rishu that this was possible. And it was great that, you listened to her and both of you all thought that this would be very interesting and good for all of your colleagues. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we are getting great reactions today. And this is happening for the first time in this session, I would say. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you so
we had a
much.
wonderful audience. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Jatin.
Thank you,
Yes.
Dineshji.
Bye.
Yeah. Thank you. From Pune.
Thanks, Rakesh. Thank you. So we end this session here, and anyone has any, sorry, we have got one more query here. If you can spend 2 more minutes.
Is it advisable to finish our corpus also? Suppose at the age of 80 plus, etc. So, Sudhakar ji, for sure, people don't know how to spend money. तो हम लोग बहुत हमारे clients हैं, उनको बोलते हैं कि you should also learn to spend money. तो पैसा बचा के क्या करने वाले हो? In fact, a lot of times when we meet for goal-based planning ना, हम लोग ये पहला पूछते हैं कि तो फिर आप खुद पर क्या spend करना चाहते हो? कहाँ पर क्या करने वाले हो? ये तो या फिर people only want experience, right? Today people live for better experiences. Somebody wants to visit a particular, car racing event, or they want to go for a, musical concert. Or there are people who say that, I want to help in terms of charity. So when someone tells that, yes, I am at age 80 and I have a lot of money, बहुत ज़्यादा पैसा है, and I don't want to, I want to see that it is being spent in front of my eyes as I am alive. We help them to sit and plan this also. But I think it's a damn good question, Sudhakar, that people don't know how to spend money at all. And they just see to it that money keeps growing. पैसा बढ़ाना कैसा है और बढ़ाना कैसा है, लेकिन वो खुद पर spend करो. We know so many families, especially our parents' generation and all, they were so careful about money ना, that वो बचा के ही रहते थे. हाँ, सुधाकर जी, आप अभी दिख रहे हो. I got your question right ना? Yeah? We can't hear you. No, we can't hear you, Mr. Sudhakar. If you're on your headphones, please take it off. But, we have families जहाँ पर करोड़ों पैसे हैं, and they feel scared कि कल market को कुछ हो जाएगा और मेरे पास कुछ पैसा बचेगा ही नहीं. But here we guide them and help them that हाँ. Then there are some people who also say that मैं साल का इतना खर्चा तो करूँगा ही करूँगा. I will spend it on myself, my family. I will gift it to people. मैं दान करूँगा and all of that. And I think it's very healthy. It's not necessary to just, you're not going to take the money to the grave anyways. क्या करेंगे पैसा रख के?
Absolutely, you are absolutely right. I think that is also one of the goal which is there in the mind of the people right now. I mean, after seeing COVID and after seeing so much of suffering within the society and within the family as well, I think people now also want to plan for the donations and the something
Giving
good,
back to society.
giving back to the society as well. So I think, yeah. And Sudhakar ji has also replied, yeah, you got it.
That I got it correctly. Thanks.
Great. So anyone else has any other question?
I think we are done.
So yeah, great. So thank you so much, Chitra ji. It was really wonderful to have you here today, and we look forward to have such kind of sessions in future as well.